Good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome warmly to News Tonight this Monday, the 10th of August, 2026. My name is Micheal Lukomwa. Elizabeth Nakakun joins in for sign language interpretation. And we'll go straight to what we have for you this evening. Police have issued a stringent guideline for transporting learners as schools prepare to break off for holiday. The guidelines are contained in the learners' safe transport checklist developed jointly by Police, the Ministry of Works and Transport, and the Ministry of Education and Sports. We have detail.
All schools will start breaking off for second term holidays beginning this week, with the relevant authorities issuing guidelines to minimize accidents and deaths. Traffic Police spokesperson Micheal Kananura told a weekly press briefing in Kampala that guidelines to stakeholders on the transportation of learners back home ensures their safety.
The school administrators and the transport operators to ensure the following. 1. Buses to be used in such circumstances must obtain the necessary permission from the Ministry of Works and Transport, where they will be operating outside their usual authorized routes. We all know that these buses, especially the PSV buses, have routes they operate on. So if they are to violate that and go for these children or students, they must have that clearance from the Ministry of Works and Transport. They must also have valid inspection reports and comply with all the applicable inspection requirements. School transport journeys must be undertaken within the permitted travel period, and that is from 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Beyond that, we will not allow any bus transporting students to move. We shall park them till the time that is recommended for them to move.
The checklist was developed by Ministry of Education and Sports, working together with the Ministry of Works and Transport and Police, although there are exemptions to some students' movements to attend national events and sports activities.
The only exemption we have given as a ministry is for pre-arranged trips for music, dance and drama competitions, sports competitions, and health placements for health training institutions, because these trainees move from their locations to the health facilities. But those ones, we are clearly working with the Uganda Police Force. We've come up with a checklist. We simply pass it on to the school and say, yes, you want to do this, but meet these checklist requirements in the meantime.
The suspension on transporting learners was a result of recurring accidents involving learners.
We are also requiring for mandatory vehicle inspection. Vehicle inspection undertaken by the Ministry of Works, working with the Uganda Police Force under the Inspectorate of Vehicles. You will not be allowed to transport learners if your vehicle does not have the mandatory clearance, and that is the minimum requirement in the checklist. We are asking that every student or pupil who boards a bus or means of land transport must be on the list, a pre-approved list, and it will be provided to the police, so that at any one time we should know which children or students have boarded a means of transport for a study tour or trip.
Over the weekend, police intercepted 10 buses transporting learners to the United Republic of Tanzania for a sports activity. The buses were stopped at the Anjero Traffic Police checkpoint.
6 buses that were intercepted belong to Gombe Secondary School, Seroma Christian High School, Nabisunsa Girls Secondary School, St. Cyprian High School, Chabakade, Light College Katkam, and Katkam SDA Secondary School. The enforcement exercise established various violations that included expired badges, driving without badges, driving out of class, and some bus did not have PSV, null, PMO.
The strict regulations on the transportation of learners follow rising cases of road crashes involving school shuttles and other vehicles transporting learners for study trips. Abdunasele Lukomwa and Joseph Golola for UBC.
The appointment of the acting chief executive officer of the Insurance Regulatory Authority was a contempt of court. This is according to Kaduna Lubega, who is against his successor, Dr. Sunday Protasio. Lubega told members of parliament sitting on the Parliamentary Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises, commonly known as COSASE, that the High Court is yet to pronounce itself on the matter, despite that his contract as CEO expired on the 31st of May 2026. The COSASE committee has summoned the permanent secretary and secretary to the Treasury to appear and address some concerns relating to the appointment of Dr. Sunday as acting CEO for the Insurance Regulatory Authority.
I, Dr. Sunday Protasio, swear by the Almighty God that the evidence I shall give touching the matter before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
The management saga at the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda is yet to settle.
As far as the law is concerned, I am the CEO of the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda.
The Parliamentary Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises has not concluded on the legit accounting officer following a deep fight over the Chief Executive Officer of the IRA.
I think we must interrogate these issues together.
It is alleged that the Permanent Secretary and Secretary to the Treasury, Ramadan Gobi, in June 2026 acted on behalf of the Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development and appointed Dr. Sunday Protasio as acting CEO to replace Ibrahim Kaduna Lubega, whose contract ended on 31st May 2026. However, IRA officials, including the board chairperson Keto Kayemba, failed to substantiate PSST Gobi's action, leaving the MPs puzzled.
Why I went to court? I went to court, Mr. Chairman, to get justice.
We wrote to the minister after scrutinizing the various heads of departments of the authority. We decided that Dr. Protasio would be the best next person to stand in as acting.
The former IRA board recommended that Kadunabi's contract should not be renewed. This prompted the 16-year IRA CEO to seek legal redress, citing unfair treatment. On May 29, 2026, High Court Civil Division Justice Joyce Kavuma stopped the Insurance Regulatory Authority of Uganda from completing the appointment of a substantive chief executive officer until a case filed by former CEO Ibrahim Lubega is heard and determined.
I had already recommended to the minister not to have Haji Kadunabi's contract renewed. The minister, through the PSST, had requested the Auditor General to carry out a forensic audit to enable him to take action. So what we did was understand the position as it was, wait for the Auditor General's report, which luckily enough came just, I think it was on the 22nd.
Nobody could appoint anybody else unless one is in contempt of court. And if there is any alleged appointment of 1st of June, it is my understanding, honorable members, that that is contempt of court order.
In the audited reports for the financial year ending 2025, IRA management issues were noted among the challenges that needed to be addressed. COSASE committee has summoned PSST Gobi to appear and clarify on the matter.
The subject in issue is on whether we have a substantive or an acting chief executive officer. 2, whether we have an accounting officer.
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
That Paco Sase is very important.
The contest for LC2 chairperson seats in Kawempe has gone on smoothly, and in general in this division. In Ket Falao zone, an NRM youth has defeated the incumbent chairman who had spent 30 years in the office. From the 7 zones that make up the parish, voters turned up earlier at Global School Playground for the election.
Police and the army were called in to calm the situation during the LC2 chairperson elections at Kasui Parish, where candidates failed to agree on procedure. The election was postponed. Peter Tamale, the incumbent chairperson, and Ronald Zibu, the chairperson for Kasui Market, accused the electoral officials of adding people in the register. The person in charge of elections in Rubaga was chased away, as Tamale's side accused him of rigging the election. The DPC Odi Kampala, Kenneth Masete, intervened and postponed the election. Meanwhile, the contest for Kawempe 1 parish, Ajimali Mabirizi of the Democratic Party got 20 votes, while Onesimus Mutumba of the NRM Party got 46 votes.
Nangirira omuwanguza wangu dakalulu kaffe omwami George Onesimus Mutumba.
Upon winning, Mutumba nominated his committee, promising to serve without discrimination.
I strongly believe that that service that is going to be rendered by me will be equal to the Muslim fraternity, to the Anglican, to the Catholic, to the Seventies, and all other aspects of life. I'm not going to separate out the people with disability, the youth, the elderly, and all these are going to be served as long as the services that have been provided by the government reach the common person.
People of Kawempe 1, they have given me this opportunity to serve as their general secretary at the parish. I promise that I'm going to be a hardworking person.
From Wandegia Parish, Katale Zone, Mwanje Musa won the seat of LC2 chairperson, beating Elijah Beruhanga. Mwanje Musa won with 29 votes, while the opponent got 14 votes.
Mwanje Musa gasentebe wo muluka gwe Wandegeya.
Olukiiko olukadde olubaddeko ebyaddala lubadde lunanfuusi, lubadde lukopi. Twalonda olukiiko nga bwe mulabye wano nga balonda olukiiko, naye bo olumala okuwangula ne bafuluma geeti eno, ye ng'atuuka eri ng'alonda abakulembeze baayagala. Bamwanguyira banywa nabo omwenge. Kati n'olwekyo ffe twataddemu amaanyi nga bannawandegeya ne tuleeta Mwanje Musa.
Naye tetubadde mu lutalo ebadde competition. Yigirako. Yes, bingi byenkyasobola omuyigirako era nja kubeera nga mbeebuuzaako nnyabo. Naye incumbent yennyini, incumbent naye wali Mwami Salim Ntogo, era bonna nja kubanga nga mbanoonya nga bampa ku magezi kubanga munnange bagamba experience is the best teacher.
Robert Katamba, reporting for UBC News in Kampala.
The Muslim Parliamentary Caucus is concerned over growing Islamophobia in Uganda. The caucus appeals to government and the Interreligious Council to address a growing backlash against the Islamic faith. The concern follows the circulation of an investigative video clip on social media in which one of the convicts in the murder of the late Susan Magara is heard claiming that the Quran permits killing of people.
On August 5, 2026, the High Court Criminal Division sentenced 2 people to death, including Hajara Nakandi and Buvumbo Musa Abbas, while 7 others were sentenced to natural life imprisonment over the murder of Susan Magara. Later, investigative video clip circulated on social media in which Nakandi is heard explaining to investigators how she believed the killing of the victim was religiously permitted under the Quran.
I'll be frank with you. If you kidnap someone,
yes,
ask for ransom.
Yes.
Ransom bw'ogifuna,
yes,
nga mulaba muli safe,
yes,
it is a must for you to let the victim go. Try to discuss alternative. Kubanga, our security was being compromised.
Okay.
And according to the Quran, we can take her life.
Many Ugandans shocked seemed to condemn Islam, while others rejected the interpretation of the Quran contained in the video. The chairperson Muslim Parliamentary Caucus, Hassan Chirumira, says Islam condemns taking of innocent life.
Convict does not speak for Islam. We state with equivocation the statements attributed to the convict in the video are fabrication, a distortion, and blasphemous misinterpretation of the Islamic faith.
The legislators also argue that wearing Islamic attire does not automatically qualify an individual to interpret the Quran.
A criminal who commits a murder does not become a spokesperson of a religion.
We want to sound a warning to all those people that put on religious attires and commit crimes when they actually do not belong to those religions, just to make the public think that they actually belong to such faith.
MPs have also questioned how sensitive investigative material ended up on social media and unfairly associates the region with criminal acts.
We demand a transparent, time-bound inquiry into how the recordings left the official custody of court and ended up on Twitter, ended up on Facebook, and ended up on WhatsApp.
Be aware there are so many judges. There are some judges who are Muslims. What prevented this judge at least to make a thorough explanation and denial about these allegations within his own judgment upon inquiry from judicial officers who are Muslims? Could this be the position of Islam?
The caucus says it does not condone criminality and that individuals accused of wrongdoing should be held accountable for their actions. The legislators are now calling upon government and the Inter-Religious Council to intervene in the matter.
To petition the Speaker, the Right Honourable Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, to raise this as a matter of national importance and refer it to the Committee on Defence and Internal Affairs. And to work with the Muslim scholars on a national public information campaign and with the Inter-Religious Council on a joint statement for religious tolerance. And
Rebecca Nantongo, Gloria Gutabinji, Parliament.
The 36th Ordinary Policy Organs meeting of the East Africa Standby Force has officially opened in Kampala, making a major milestone in regional security cooperation. The high-level meeting brings together experts from 9 member states for regional peace and security.
Discuss issues of policy and just strategic ideas to make us a better reactive force.
Military officers, experts and civilian components of the Eastern Africa Standby Force have gathered at 4 Points Sheraton Hotel, Kampala, attending a high-level meeting aimed at promoting regional peace and security.
Our role is to examine issues carefully, assess their implications objectively, and develop recommendations that are practical and balanced and and capable of guiding the decisions of the Committee of the Chiefs of Defense and Security and ultimately the Council of Ministers.
The Standby Force mandate is to enhance peace, security and stability in the region.
Institutions such as the Eastern Africa Standby Force become increasingly important, not only because of what they are capable of doing in times of crisis, but because of the confidence they inspire in times of peace. Strong institutions reassure our citizens, they strengthen confidence among nations, they create the conditions within which development, investment, and the regional integration.
The scenarios that we respond to are, of course, the usual peace operations, but we also participate in mediation to avoid conflict. As you're all probably aware, it is better to avert conflict than to actually engage in conflict.
The meeting seeks to translate political commitments into practical and deployable capabilities of the Eastern Africa Standby Force.
Important for us to build internal resilience for the continuity of this cause in which we are to integrate both as a region and as a continent. So this reduction in external support to peace operations, including ASOM, sends a clear message that Africa must increasingly prepare to shoulder greater responsibility for its own peace and security.
The Chief of Joint Staff, Lieutenant General Jack Bakasumba, urged the participants to focus on realistic planning and people-centered regional security.
I therefore encourage you to use this opportunity to engage with openness, mutual respect, and intellectual curiosity. Let your deliberations be guided not only by national perspectives, but also by the broader interests of our region and the aspirations of the millions of citizens who look to institutions such as the Eastern Africa Standby Force as guarantors of peace, stability, and hope.
The outcomes from the expert working group meeting will inform subsequent meetings of Chiefs of Defense Staff and Defense Ministers later in the week. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
The Speaker of the Parliament of Czech Republic, Tomio Okamura, has named a newborn mountain gorilla, Thomas, during his visit to Uganda. He called the name a symbol of friendship between the two countries. Okamura proposed the name while trekking mountain gorillas in Bwindi Impenetrable Forest National Park in southwestern Uganda, where he was joined by the Deputy Speaker of the Ugandan Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa.
The Speaker of the Parliament of the Czech Republic, Tomio Okamura, is in Uganda for official duties. He was joined by the Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, to trek mountain gorillas in Bwindi Impenetrable National Park.
Join this tour because I think that tourism should be one of the important topics of our cooperation for the future, because a lot of Czech people are interested to come here, but they didn't have still enough information, and I will be so-called your ambassador. Yeah, ambassador, because I am in the Czech media every day, almost every day. So I have
Tomio Okamura named the newborn mountain gorilla Thomas as a symbol of friendship between the two countries.
Yeah. But not because you are Thomas, but Tomio in Czech language is also Thomas. Oh, Thomas, and it is international, right?
Thank you.
Yes,
thank
it will
you.
be
I think we have Thomas in Czech.
Yeah.
In Czech, so becomes Tomio.
Yes. Tayebwa thanked Okamura for making the trip. He said the visit gives Uganda a chance to promote itself to the Czech Republic and to Europe.
We have invested a lot as a government. His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni has put in all his effort in ensuring that we have security and peace, not only for Uganda but also for the region, because across the DRC, which is nearby from here, we have tried to work with them on ensuring that security is guaranteed, but also your coming is a very big statement to the world who are saying don't go to Uganda because there is Ebola. There is no Ebola in Uganda.
Tayebwa urged Ugandans to tour their own country before traveling abroad. He pointed out that Ugandan citizens pay far less than foreign tourists for gorilla trekking permits, calling it a chance for more locals to experience one of the country's biggest tourism draws.
Yeah. You can imagine a local Ugandan pays 300,000 Ugandan shilling. His Excellency paid $800 per person to come. So use it as an opportunity. You do come here. We have the open day for the national parks. I know it's who has been promoting, so I urge Ugandans to come here and tour our country.
Taiba said Uganda plans to use upcoming international events to sell its tourism potential to the world. He mentioned Uganda's expected hosting of the Organization of African, Caribbean and Pacific States European Union Joint Parliamentary Assembly next year, which is said to bring over 500 delegates from Europe, Africa, the Caribbean and the Pacific.
Right.
Thank you,
Right.
thank you,
Right.
thank you
very much. And
Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
We take a break. Thank you so much for watching. Let's get back with more news.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima gukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, enendungu ya kusabula. Mikono juu, free your fire, free your fire, free your fire.
We don't need anyone's permission to move forward. What we need is the power to do it our way. Spiro is not your typical EV company. It's the power grid for African ambition. A network that connects Nairobi to Kigali, Lagos to Lomé, Dar to Kampala. Not with cables and wires, but with clean, quiet, relentless movement. This is Africa, powered by us.
In Uganda, mornings don't begin with sunrise. They begin with courage. One man, one factory that has refused to stay silent. With one spark of courage, a chain of prosperity begins. When one Ugandan stands up, the nation moves. Pearl Bank. Grow. Prosper.
Thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. It's UBC News tonight. The Anti-Corruption Magistrates Court has committed Parliament's former Director of Communication and Public Affairs, Chris Obore, and 6 others to the High Court for full trial. This follows prosecution completing all the investigations into their matter, where Chris Obore and the co-accused are facing charges of corruption of over 26 billion shillings for parliamentary circle.
The accused persons in the matter include Chris Obore, the former Director Communications and Public Affairs Parliament, Adido Daniel, former Director Human Resource, Okemare Onad, former Director Secretary Office of the Speaker of Parliament, Rajabokaya Semalulu, former Principal Research Officer, Okwi Emmanuel Emrun, former Capacity Development Officer Parliament, Munebe Methods, Chief Executive Officer, Uganda Parliamentary Corporation Savings and Creditors Society Limited SACCO, and Stella Ahatute, The accused who appeared in court today for mention of the case, prosecution informed court that investigations are complete in the matter and asked court to commit the accused to High Court for a full trial. In the indictment read to the accused, prosecution alleges that the 7 and others still at large during the period of 2023 in Parliament of Uganda, Kampala District, received funds for donations and corporate social responsibility activities of Parliament of Uganda, but did not implement the activities, knowing or having reasons to believe that their acts will cause financial loss to the government of Uganda of over 27 billion Ugandan shillings.
That Mr. Rajab Kaya Semalulu received 1,108,000 shillings for donations and corporate social responsibility activities of the Parliament, but neither implemented them. Mr. Otebata received 502,534,000 shillings.
Prosecution also alleges that the 7 and others still at large during the period of January 2023 to April 2026 in Parliament of Uganda, Kampala District, in their respective offices, processed, approved and received over 10 billion Ugandan shillings, knowing at the time of processing and receipt, the said funds were proceeds of crime.
As employees of Parliament, received a total of 26,805,892,000 shillings for donations, corporate social responsibility and engagement activities of the Parliament of Uganda, but did not implement the activities, knowing or having reason to believe that their actions would cause financial loss to the government.
Prosecution will depend on evidence from beneficiaries in the circle from Gulu, Moroto, Bukedia, Lango, Mukono, Kampala, Adjumani, among other parts of the country. Among the exhibits to be relied on in this case include documents for the circle, Bank of Uganda, Abusa Bank, Stanbic Bank, Parliament of Uganda, Uganda Police, and exhibits from the Inspectorate of Government Office. However, prosecution has withdrawn Stella Atute from the charge sheet since she is nowhere to be seen. Last week, the same court issued a warrant of arrest against Stella Atute upon sight by security operatives, although since then her whereabouts are not known. The case will be back for mention on 18th August 2026, and the accused Chris Obola and others were further remanded to Ruzira Government Prison. Deborah Namamonde, Viola Nance Subuga, UBC News.
The International War Crimes Division High Court has dispensed the former Utambala County MP Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi from reporting to court as one of bail conditions. This follows Mwanga Chivumbi's legal team informing court that the accused was arrested and is now on remand.
At Butambala Chief Magistrate's Court, former Butambala County Member of Parliament, Muhammad Mwanga Chivumbi, and 22 others are facing charges of terrorism. All the accused were recently released on bail before Justice Susan Okanany of the International War Crimes Division Court on conditions that they will report to court every second week of the month. Although Mwanga Chivumbi co-accused appeared in court today, Mwanga Chivumbi didn't make it to court. Chivumbi's legal team informed court that the accused was rearrested and is on remand on charges of inciting violence and managing unlawful society.
But court has dispensed with the appearance of the Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi for as long as he's still on remand or in prison, since it takes judicial notice that he cannot appear under such circumstances. So that means the 22 will keep on appearing like they have done today in satisfaction of that condition.
With the pending cases against Mwanga Chivumbi and other 22, lawyer Samuel Muize explained to us their readiness to defend their clients.
Ours is just to respond. If you have a state, the onus or proof, onus of proof is on the state. It's not ours. Ours is to defend our clients. We've always told you we have a file which has no statement whatsoever. So it is just a rare case that doesn't have any evidence. It is simply a holding charge. There is no evidence whatsoever. Decisions on bail, court was very clear that if this matter effective the date when bail was granted, does not proceed to the hearing stage within 1 year, this court will have to review the terms or conditions of bail.
Lawyer Muizi told UBC that the proceedings in inciting violence and managing unlawful society against Mwanga Kivumbi is scheduled for tomorrow in Butambala Chief Magistrate's Court.
For further hearing of his bail application, specifically the response or reply by the state which is opposing his bail application.
In the case of terrorism against Mwanga Kivumbi, 22 others and others still at large, prosecution alleges that the accused committed acts of terrorism between 11th and 17th January 2026 in various parts of Uganda, including Chibibi Town Council and Gombe Town Council. In Butambala District, Deborah Namamonde, Aisha Msanya, UBC News.
In respect of Sewanyana Brian,
Forum for Democratic Change has raised concern over Parliament's approval of the deployment of Ugandan troops to Gaza. Speaking during the party's weekly press briefing at the headquarters in Najanankumbi, their officials say that the Ministry of Health directive to medical interns to report to their designated hospitals by August 14th should be reconsidered, citing concerns over the implications for the affected medical interns.
On August 6, 2026, Parliament approved the deployment of Ugandan troops to Gaza, making Uganda the first country to publicly authorize participation in the proposed international stabilization force for Gaza. The force is part of a US-backed peace and stabilization plan for the territory.
For how long are we going to be in this mission? We are there for peacekeeping. We are there to keep peace. When the peace comes, the mission is complete.
The FDC party has a divergent view.
Number one, as key points, moral grounds based on the doctrines of the non-allied movement, which I will explain here. Number two, the safety and security of the Ugandans who will be deployed at the UPDF the UPDF soldiers, their security, care during and after the deployment. Number three, ground number three is on Parliament. The risk of Parliament getting fused increasingly with the executive.
FDC Deputy President for Northern Uganda and the Obongi County Member of Parliament, Hassan Kaps Fungaro, says the motion was hurriedly tabled before Parliament without adequate scrutiny.
Members of Parliament were denied the time to examine the matter deeply. The motion authorizing UPDF deployment was hurriedly tabled, rushed through the plenary process, passed without any adequate debate.
Fungaro warned that the deployment of Ugandan troops could have far-reaching consequences, particularly on Uganda's diplomatic relations.
Uganda currently is a member state and also currently the chair of the non-aligned movement for the period of 2024-2027 term. This leadership position carries significant diplomatic and moral responsibility for Uganda.
The FDC has called upon the chairperson of the non-aligned movement, President Yoweri Museveni, to halt the deployment.
We would like to say this. President Museveni should therefore take this action. Stop the process of the deployment of the UPDF to the Gaza Strip. He should call for a meeting.
In the meantime, the FDC has called for the withdrawal of the Ministry of Health's August 14th ultimatum, requiring medical interns to report back to their designated places of work.
Supposed to report on the 3rd of August, and they decided to lay down their tools over the unresolved issues regarding their welfare. And the ministry decided that if by the 14th of August no one has reported to the medical facilities or their duty stations where they are designated to carry out their internship, they will lose their internship placements, and they are pushing them to station under duress.
FDC National Vice Chairperson Centenary Franco Robert has called for all government budget cuts to be redirected toward funding medical interns and bridging the existing gaps in the health sector.
Those who will be asking where the money is coming from, we're already giving you a source where this 75 billion can come from. Let us reduce some of the 150 to 175 million dollars that facilitates medical tourism of highly placed government officials and give it to the interns so that they are able to settle down and offer the required medical services to the citizens of Uganda.
I'm Ivan Joko and Woody Narusiba reporting for UBC.
The Uganda People's Defense Forces is on the verge to extend peace support role beyond Africa with possible deployment to Gaza. Uganda Human Rights Commissioner Crispin Kaheru says that the force has decades of relevant experience. He traces this journey from the NRA's formation in 1981 to regional peace operations.
From Uganda's liberation struggle to peace missions across Africa, the UPDF's role has steadily expanded. Its experience now includes Somalia, South Sudan, Eastern DRC, counterterrorism, and civilian protection.
The UPDF is no longer a force that defends only Uganda. No, I think we've moved beyond those phases. It is a professional, it is battle-tested, it is peace-tested, it is human rights respecting institution that has proven through multiple experiences, especially with multinational operations, especially with civilian protection, especially with counterterrorism and post-conflict stabilization, that it is a force that can actually bring peace domestically and internationally.
They descended from very high in the skies.
Uganda was the first country to deploy under the African Union mission in Somalia in 2007. Since then, the UPDF has operated in complex environments involving security, humanitarian, and civilian concerns.
It helped to reclaim Mogadishu from the Al-Shabaab. This was the same time when it was containing the operations of the Lord's Resistance Army. It protected civilians and institutions in Juba, in South Sudan generally, but it was also during this period that the UPDF deployed as the first UN Guard unit in Mogadishu.
A Gaza mission would therefore take the UPDF beyond its traditional African peace support role and onto a wider global stage.
It is not surprising in any way when we see that time and again the UPDF is being called upon to stabilize or promote peace and security at the global stage.
The possible deployment remains subject to parliamentary authorization, but for Kaheru, it would signal Uganda's growing contribution to international peace and security. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The Lango Parliamentary Group has raised concern over gaps in infrastructure and social services that undermine development in their sub-region. The legislators appeal for urgent government intervention on access roads to Akibwa Olympic Stadium, health facilities, lighting and accommodation infrastructure.
The Akibwa Stadium project is 75% complete, with a projection that works will reach 80% by the end of August.
Remaining only VIP chairs. It is reaching the site. We start fix it from tomorrow. Okay, we start for the finishing of the Zone 2 clubhouse, hostel, swimming pool. We go from here.
The update came as the Lao Parliamentary Group toured the facility to assess progress of the project.
On behalf of the members of Parliament of Lango, to thank His Excellency General Kaguta Museveni for a good promise delivered. The engineer Samco is doing a wonderful job to ensure that we beat the timeline to host AFCON. We have seen the progress of the project. We have identified a few challenges.
Lao Parliamentary Group Chairperson Patrick Ogwangobura says supporting infrastructure around the facility like Akibwa Roads, Lira Airport lighting system and the health centers require urgent attention.
About 18.7 kilometers leading to Akibwa and the ecosystem is not catered for. This is very critical for a big project like this to be ignored. We are also aware that other access roads leading guests from Gulu City through Bobby, Ayer to Lira is lacking.
Later on, the legislators shifted focus to the region's accommodation facilities, meeting hoteliers to discuss their readiness to host visitors and major events. So far, government has allocated 101 billion shillings to support hoteliers to improve their facilities.
What are the terms? What are the requirements? I have got a very special case.
From what we are gathering right now is that our people of Lira City are not aware of the facility in the UDB Bank to a tune of 101 billion. To host AFCON, we'll need hotels that are well organized, that are prepared, upgraded to the standard that AFCON needs. That from here we are going back to Parliament to tackle the challenges that we have identified with the different ministries, departments and agencies. And we assure you that all these matters will be addressed. So we give you hope.
Ediulwa, UBC News.
Will be handled way on time. Thank you.
The parent is Tuliahewa Dixon. And the child is Tuliahewa Esther.
Kambera gwete kwa mchisha isha watu yayewa Esther wahangura school fees ngene na hateja shana amashemero kwagonka MTN momo eberewo mbeni nyigasta igana kaga ni 5 star 80 hash kushashuro mwana school fees tokoma nyo mchisheri zagwijo wanje ninga nchaka ngwasa kuzo wawe mwebare munonga.
The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, MEMD, warns the public that fraudsters using fake social media accounts to solicit money while falsely claiming they can secure licenses, appointments with the Honourable Minister, or influence ministry decisions. Please note, you do not pay to meet the Honourable Minister or any Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development officials. Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development has not authorised anyone to collect money on its behalf. All Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development services are free of charge, except for statutory fees provided for by the law. Verify any communication by contacting info@energy.go.ug. Report any suspected fraud to the Ministry and the relevant law enforcement.
Every life begins in a moment like this. Certain, planned, full of promise. For us, it's a bold ambition to make lives better. Because somewhere, someone is stepping into a world of work for the first time with the confidence that their retirement is taken care of. We make dreams possible. From owning homes
to scaling businesses. And when health takes an unexpected turn, help is there when it's needed most. And because legacies matter, what people build does not end with them. It's passed on. We value moments with go-getters, bold dreamers and believers. Different paths, different rhythms, with one shared belief that financial freedom is within reach. For 40 years, we've made lives better and fueled Uganda's economy. Through careful investment, we have supported businesses, created jobs, and backed our nation. To us, it's more than saving. It's believing in effort, in patience, in possibility. It's making lives better. We believe in you, in us, and in Uganda.
NSSF, 40 years of making lives better.
The Presidential Initiative for Skilling the Girl and Boy Child, a project under State House, informs all divisions of Kampala that registration for young girls and boys of the 15 to 35 years age bracket will take place on Thursday, 13th of August 2026, with training starting on Monday, 17th of August 2026 at the following skilling centers: Wandegea Market, Mulago Catholic Church, All Saints Church of Uganda Mutundwe, Nakulabye Chiwunya Our Lady of Fatima Catholic Church, Luzira Prisons at St. Stephen's Church of Uganda Luzira, Subway Crested Towers Roundabout, Wabigalo Parish Community Hall, Butikira Parish Catholic Church Chigowa Antinda, and Makere Chikweni Community Hall. Registration and training are free of charge. To register, bring a photocopy of your national ID or your parents' or the guardian's ID for minors, signed and stamped by the LC1 with their phone contact, plus 4 recent passport photos. For more information, call 0716 144 562 or 0414 343 457 and 0414 343 458.
C News, thank you so much for watching and welcome back from the break. Africa has a tremendous opportunity to grow its international meetings, incentives, conferences, and events, or MICE business. However, industry players say that the continent still has a huge task ahead, creating an enabling environment that can attract more international visitors and investment. Dennis Sigoa spoke to Ashish Sharma, the Chief Executive Officer, Serena Hotels Africa.
Africa's hotel and hospitality industry continues to face challenges ranging from visa restrictions and ease of entry and departure to inadequate airport infrastructure. Industry players are also calling for improved regional connectivity, easier travel within Africa, and greater implementation of the Open Skies policy to facilitate movement and boost tourism and business travel.
We need to create in each country enabling environment, starting from when you enter the country through visa structure, through road infrastructure, time of travel, to facilities to accommodate very large number of customers coming in. What happens is when there is a shortfall of customers, most brands start competing on price. Now that is very dangerous because we dilute our average room rates and ADRs, and in the end we suffer because we cannot renovate our properties because we don't have enough income to do that.
With over 20 years of operations in Uganda, Serena Hotels Kampala property is among the country's long-established high-end hotel facilities. But over the years, new international and local brands have entered the market, intensifying competition.
We welcome them because competition is healthy. It keeps you on your toes, it makes you innovative, it makes you find ways to become lean and competitive to face the competition. But what I discourage mostly is playing the price war game, what we call yield management. We must make sure that we maintain our rates so that we can make some decent profit and look after our people in our properties as well.
Sharma says Uganda's growing economy, rising tourist numbers, and increasing ability to host international events are creating fresh opportunities for investment in the hospitality sector.
Yeah, we traveled like 13 hours in a car from Entebbe to here.
In Uganda, we are looking at a couple of opportunities right now at Queen Elizabeth Park and Bwindi. So we hope to expand our tourism in Uganda. And in the region, we've been invited places like South Sudan, Somalia and other places, but security becomes an issue.
According to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, the country has at least 103,000 accommodation beds distributed across approximately 6,300 accommodation facilities nationwide. Dennis Igoa for UBC.
Several pastoralists in Kasese are reeling from heavy losses after a 7-month drought wiped out cattle across the district. Most livestock perished while trekking long distances in search of scarce water and pasture, with some resorting to feeding on shrubs, leaving farmers devastated by the prolonged dry spell.
Nyakatonzi sub-county in Kasese district has been among the hardest hit by the prolonged dry spell, leaving pastoralists deeply disappointed and uncertain about their future.
We have suffered for the last 8 months, from January up to August now.
The prolonged scorching sun has left farmers with barren grazing fields, forcing livestock to survive on shrubs as their only source of feed.
Of course, that is the only alternative. We don't have grass, and the cows have resorted into eating the shrubs. And of course, there are many zoonotic diseases that are also being encountered in animals eating our cows when they eat these shrubs.
Due to severe shortages of water and pasture, compounded by zoonotic diseases linked to shrubs, Nyakatonzi sub-county has suffered major cattle losses and a significant decline in milk production.
By July, we counted the census. We had calculated 450 cows that we lost within this community. I was producing about 100 liters of milk, but as I speak, I can't even raise about 5 liters, just get milk for the home consumption. So it is a very big challenge. For the last 8 months,
these hardships have compelled the cattle keepers to trek long distances in search of scarce water and pasture.
The energy that is used in that that very long distance, that is about 6 kilometers each drinking cycle, and remember they are supposed to drink twice, they end up dying eventually because that cumulative loss of weight causes a problem without adequate feed.
Environmental experts warn that rainfall patterns have become more than erratic, leaving the sub-county increasingly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change.
Erratic could be having like it falls today, it does fall next day, like that. But for it suffers a very prolonged dry spell that ends up drying the entire vegetation cover.
The Ministry of Local Government, through the United Nations funded Local Climate Adaptive Living Facility project, is supporting livelihoods by pumping water into dams across the area.
See, when you look at this project, that tank is about 80 million liters, 80 exactly liters, and we know it would serve the best because one of the biggest challenges in this community is water.
Oko Joseph, UBC.
Alo.
Yense mwami mukasa.
Mutyaneyo.
Yono broka.
Yenze broka wa mayumba.
Bangambye ne nyumba za mwenunjiko.
Kitufu. Oyagala abisenge bimeka.
Nga bisatu.
Ebeyi bagigambye.
Abangambye saata eno.
Dedda sebeno zali nyamuko.
Yidwachi.
Anti rangi je tusigisa ya mulembe. Kati ne value y'ekitundu yalinnya.
Musigisachi.
Global Paints.
Mutya.
Ku ceiling. Tukozesa Global Mat. Ate munda ne tukozesa Global Silk Vinyl.
Singa kwetaga wabweru.
Wabweru tukozesa Global Weather Coat Emulsion.
Kusiga je musiga. Ogwo omutindo okusasulira sente zonna.
Guli wumite.
Global Paint, a reliable product.
Pearl of Africa. Welcome everyone.
Welcome to Sports News Tonight. The 2026 Johnny Walker Uganda Open Golf Championship has officially been launched, with organizers promising a month of competitive golf and an enhanced entertainment experience. The championship will bring together some of East Africa's finest golfers at the Uganda Golf Club in Kampala.
The 2026 Johnny Walker Uganda Open Golf Championship will run from August 13th to September 5th at the Uganda Golf Club, bringing together professional, amateur, senior and female golfers from Uganda, East Africa and across the continent.
As you know, previously we've had Portuguese winners, we've had winners from the US, we've had winners from Zimbabwe, Zambia and South Africa. So expect a huge field and expect this to be a much better event than we've ever had before.
The championship was launched with a putting challenge on the 18th hole, setting the tone for tournament organizers say will combine sporting excellence with culture, fashion, music and lifestyle. Johnny Walker East Africa brand manager Christine Chokunda says that their commitment seeks to elevate the tournament beyond the golf course through the Afro Exchange experience that is centered around the 19th hole.
It will be a different kind of 19th hole experience that our consumers should be looking forward to for the amateurs and the professionals. The ladies obviously will be a she walks experience as we have always done, and that will be also an amazing experience to look forward to.
Uganda Golf Union President Jackson Were says the Uganda Open remains vital to the development of golf and Uganda's growing reputation as a golfing destination.
The event comes at a time when we are still growing the game of golf and we are exposing our professionals to even better competitive opportunities. Right after the week of the professionals, they will be moving to play the Sunshine Development Tour event at Entebbe Club, which is also going to be played for 70 million, but also it's a world ranking event. The first time in the history of Uganda to have professionals ranked.
The event opens on August 13th to 15th with the Johnny Walker Ladies Open, which is recognized as a World Amateur Golf Ranking event. The Seniors Open follows from August 21st to 22nd, before the Amateur Open runs from August 25th to 28th. The Professional Open will climax the championship from September 2nd to 5th. The championship will also feature the ABSA Pro-Am, offering Ugandan golfers opportunities for higher level exposure.
That is John Barnes Center more with golf. Now, on the 10th of August, today, we mark 2 years since we had the tragedy in Chitezi garbage slide, where we lost over 30 lives. At 9 p.m., just a few seconds from now, we are bringing you a special report answering a number of questions about the tragedy. Before, during, and after, a compilation with Ivan Kahwa. Please, here it is. My name is Micheal Jordan Lukomwa with Elizabeth Nakakuni and the whole newsroom. We'll leave you with that and catch you at 10 p.m.
Sobera ngoba olunaku lubi so nzize siteze enkuba etandise okwetonyesa eringa eryagala nkule mawulire gika ino ayayaya bana abamu nabo
era okuva kasasiro bwe yagwa embeera si nnungi tetunnaba kudda ngulu. I'm a father of two, but my kids were at school and my wife had traveled abroad
Bayi motoka yo bali batugamba amphibian. Bajja leeta bajjo kasasiro yenna. Tusobola kubanga tujja atisiko obuwanga.
So I'm in Chitezi, and we are recollecting on the testimonies of the people who were there when this landfill was collapsing.
Era nze sitenda kwagala kujja nnyo mu kitundu kino. Waliwo bwe nzija muno mu kitundu. Mayiti zange ziddayo. Bwe ntuuka ewaka neza nfuna ebirooto ebibi.
No, it was the negligence of the capital city authority because they did not manage the garbage properly. One, I think they were told that was 2013. NEMA told them the landside is full, whereby they should stop powering the garbages, but they did not listen. They continued.
Yeah, you know that incident. Basically, it took the heads. That is the unfortunate part of it, because I think it was basically a management and planning issue. Much of the liability went to the planners or the heads of the institution. And I think at a technical level, they are managing that situation.
Family yange yali mu nyumba. Mali mukyala wange bayita Justin Mutes. Nembeamu ne mutabani wange w'emyaka 4 gwe bali bayita Agasha Innocent. Be bantu abali mu nyumba eyo ku makya benalekamu nga ngenda okukola. Ekire ku makya okwo kwennyini nga ngenda. Yo mwana yanemerako nangamba dadi tulina okugenda ffenna.
Kati nze ku makya okwo omwana yakaba n'okukaba nga yagala kungoberera ne musibirayo mu mutima munyugi wa kufuka.
Singa nagenda naye.
Kati yali alina omuzengo y'omwana bw'agenda nga ngoberedde oluusi abulira eyo waggulu. Kane tumunoonya kati koolo nasibawo ne nyongerawo ekinyolo. Nengamba omukyala emuga omwana oyo ayinza okukola ki? Ayinza okungoberera. Omukyala n'azuukuka naye n'ayongerako ekkufulu. Naye ate abaasembayo mwami Kasimu oyo neiba waffe yejjukira yali alundirayo ente, alinayo ente nnyingi eno wansi. Yennyini yaŋŋamba ate ye mu kuvaayo aleka batudde kabalaza.
Wano wetuli wano kisaaniko kino kyatwawula n'omukyala kuba lunaku lwali lwa mukaga sigenda kulwerabira saawa emu twali tuze ne mukyala nga tuze kukola. Mukyala nga neekulembedde nze ndi mabega muvaako. Kati kyenva nkutamamu bwe nti mbeeko waliwo ebintu bye nali neetegeeza bwe nti nkutama bwe nti ogenda osituka bwe nti nalaba kinyanga n'omukyala sikyamulabako.
So now kati oguddewo ekisumuzo kimenyese ofutuka otya okutoloka kati?
Guddewo taddemu ekisumuzo kimenyese. Nsaba essala yange esembayo kuba banneiba bange baŋŋamba kasasiro wuuyo akomawo ate bw'akomawo biki. Naye ng'eri olwedde emmanju yakubye dda abantu emmanju bafudde baneiba bange ne mu mbiriizi.
Omukyala nge yali asobola okulabika. Bwe baali basima omukyala yalina ebbaketi mu ngalo. Ebbaketi eyo twagijjayo. Wetutuuka nga abana abasajja bamanyi okusima obulungi nnyo basima. Waliwo omwami baali bamuyita Mike ate n'akyusa n'ateekerawo omulala atamanyi. Bano abaali abasima nga babitegeera n'abajjawo.
So
era wano wennyini we tuyimiridde wano ng'asirise kwagirako abaami 3 ne kugirako n'ente bbiri ne bayimirira wano abajjirako ne batambula ne bakola ki ne badduka ne bagenda ne wano we bantu baffe nga abasaanyizzaawo.
This is Magic 100 FM. Sports and music is our life.
And we've also been together with Assistant Superintendent of Police Mutera Asimwe, happening to be the Regional Community Liaison Officer of the Kampala Metropolitan Police North.
For us as investigators, ours is technical. When somebody says, I had there a house, then prove, said even all my documents were buried. Who knows you? My neighbors were buried. So it becomes quite very challenging. I know that we had issues, LLCs were a bit also stuck. Somebody claims that, Chairman, you don't know me. Like I don't know you, you are not in my register. You know, they have their registers, although we don't go there. Said, I don't know you. When did you buy here? Who sold to you?
It was another big problem whereby we couldn't separate all list those who were around. But at least those who were residents, whereby the landslide covered their houses, at least we could know them because we were interacting or staying with them.
Kasasiro amaze okukende okukka okugwa tulina abantu abaataasibwa ate ne mubaamu n'abantu abafiirawo ku ssaawa eyo nga tebali wansi. Twalinawo omwami bamuyitanga Saamu, yali yakampitako yali musunda mata atwala bite byante aba yakayita bw'ati akkirira n'amutomera ye yafiirawo ate n'amukulugusa omulambo n'egusuula eri oyo gwe twasookera ddala kukola ki okulabirako. Naye n'abantu mulimu abaali baziikiddwa naddala bano abaali bava waggulu abakola waggulu yabaziika ebitundu bo abantu ku ssaawa eyo twajjamu abantu 11
baali balamu
nga balamu era bwe twabajjaamu lw'okuba ensasage yali amanyi gye byaggwera setwamanya bwe gye baabatwala. Ennyumba eno gegali amaka gange nga mwensula nga gino mizigo gyange n'emirala giri awo awantu wanali mpezaawo emizigo 21 naye nga buli muzigo guli mu mitwalo 10 nga tekuli masanyalaze naye essaawa zino bwe bajja bakusaba ya mitwalo 2 mitwalo 3 era eno essaawa zino njereere nga bwe yasigala bwe yajja gimpamu emitwalo 10 naye nga sisobola kugiwaayo at least ebeererawo.
Kiyinza okuba nga either kyaba pushing ekibateeka ng'eri naye ng'egibaali bagambe nti amphibian nga tulina essuubi nti bagenda kujjayo ebisasiro byonna bino batuuke ku ground kubanga n'ennyumba yange ennyini teyalabika wadde ebbaati wadde oga nti bagyeyo ntebe wadde oga nti bagyeyo beddinisa oba oluggi teri wadde kintu kyalabika ku nyumba yange wadde neki wadde n'ekimu. Ekyongera okundaga nti ennyumba yonna kyagitwala ne kibatwalira mu nju. Kyogamba muno tewali byuma bisobola okudetekita ne bamanya nti tusobola okukebera wansi etuma nti waliyo abantu oba akawanga kuba akawanga kaawukana ku bintu byonna ebirala. Tusaba singa gavumenti etuyamba ate isika ekimotoka ekyo bakireete. Nze nazaala wange yalaluka lwa nsonga emu talina kye yalabako okugamba nti ono muwala wange ddala afudde. Naye singa nti nazaala ssaawa eno alabako wadde akawanga k'omuzzukulu oba aka muwala we ate mayinsi ziyinza okudda engulu kubanga
kubanze batuka ne bankebera obulwadde nga nkankana bukankanyi bwe nti nga ndowooza oba naye nga temuli bulwadde omuntu kuba namala emyezi 2 egyasooka nga sitegeera.
But mine is to relay the information. We have the facts on ground. We also have what the government said regarding the compensation of the people affected. But one thing for sure I've realized is that the amount of money that was paid to some of the people affected by the garbage slide was for rehabilitation, but not necessarily compensation. And it was very clear from the letter that was written by the president of the Republic of Uganda.
Reference is made to the ongoing efforts towards the rehabilitation of persons affected by the garbage slide incidents on 10th August 2024. One waliwo compensation. Nze bwe natuula nenkola estimate properties zange ne gundi yange yino na estimating properties zange nzibayidde $1,044 era nenda kukulaga wano estimate yange buli kimu ekyange nkirina. Ntawe Fred property lost plot 40 by 48 15 million, residential house 75 million, rental house 16 million, toilet 18 million, domestic appliances 10 million, water tank, power, water and meters 5 million, animals, goat, 2 cows, chicken 5 million. Total is 144 million. This is the money. Zino ze sente zinebalirira nze ng'omuntu
nkoze estimates.
Nkoze estimates ate nga sitaddeko disturbance costs.
8.4 billion is what was released to support. This money was spent on procuring food and non-food relief items. It was used to support to support the very displaced households with the disturbance allowance, and 1,051,689,000 was spent on compensating the houses that were destroyed during the passage of the machinery to access the scene of disaster.
So kati ku milioni 10,000
yes,
bakuwako sente meka
38
nga ensonga bakuwa zaati
nga bagamba zezo zetusobodde okubawa.
According to the technology we have, the state light was showing the houses in position before the garbage slide. I don't see why they did not assess according to what they saw before the houses were demolished.
Tugezezaako tutobye tutaddeyo obusente bampa obusente butono bampa $200,000 nagenda okubalirira ofunewo osulajukira olwedde baali bamaze omwaka mulamba n'ekintu nga tebatuwa sente rent yokka. Nakwatako sente nempaako rent nentematemamu netwala sente mu ddwaliro nagenda okwanga ebyaddala sente tewasigadde saagula nyumba.
The compensation, I was not even satisfied with it, simply because they did not inform me how much they were going to compensate to the people. And there is something which disappointed me also, and which attached me. To pay someone or to compensate somebody without knowing how much you are going to pay him. They first paid the amount to the people, then they brought the list of the compensation after paying them. I asked one of the people concerned, is it proper to pay somebody before you give him the assessment? They did not give me the answer. Why they did not assess? They give the people the assessment before paying them.
We worked with several partners, and all the injured people, they were 18. They were given 1 million by the president to facilitate their treatment. Then the 35 bodies that were recovered, money was given to support their burial. In the due course, IDPs were paid 2 million each household to go out and rent, because it was not sustainable, it was not prudent to keep this camp running for many months.
Those who were recovered alive and they need treatment, they will be supported with 1 million. Those who are dead and they need to, these burial expenses, the president contributed 5 million.
Sente tebaatuwa ffe ez'amabugo. Ffe baatugamba nti engeri gye tutafuna mirambo tebagenda tuwa sente z'amabugo. So nga ate awo namalawo mwezi mulamba nasiiba awo twakuma ebyoto teri kye twakola ku bantu ng'abaafiirwa eyo baakola. Naye ebiseera bye nabeera ano nga basimayo emirambo gyange nga baginoonya muno obuveera buno baabusikangayo naye ng'olabanga bumazeeyo ebbanga ddene naye nga tebuvunda.
Ate si mukyala wange yekka n'emikwano gyange bannamukasa baasigala wano, bamamole baasigala wano, nakato baasigala wano, mukyala pasita baasigala wano, abantu bangi baasigala wano. Ate waliwo n'abataamanyika kuba kati bano baali bamanyikiddwa.
Waliwo Muluuli Franka, waliwo bantu bangi nnyo abaafiirwa abantu baabwe awo ne basigalayo, naye abo bonna nagezaako okwekolamu omulimu ne tugenda nabo, ne tugenda ku OPM ne tubakaabirira. Bw'ogenda ku OPM bagamba agenda ku State Council, bw'ogenda ku State Council bagenda ku OPM, bwe batyo.
Bali babawa nsonga ki oba olw'okuba nti abammwe baali tebalabise?
Anti kati bo bagamba nti lwaki basobola kuwa ssente z'amabugu. Bo bagamba nti tebaalabako, olina kuleeta gundi obujulizi obukakasa nti omuntu oyo afudde, ne bakuba amalaala ebifaananyi, then n'ebbaluwa gye bakuba mu ddwaliro, then ne balyoka bakuwa obukadde bumeka? 5.
Eno kasasiro wabadde abanjagala ero.
Kakati gwe lwaki toli ku abo abaafuna ku ssente? Kuba waliwo banno abaafuna kasente yadde tekamala naye baafunafunako kasente. Ensonga ki eyo eyinza okuba?
Ensonga gye baatugamba nti ffe tetuli ba landlord. Yeyo ensonga gye baatugamba nti ffe batali ba landlord tetugenda kufuna kasente. Naye ng'ate Madamu Shira yatutegeezanga n'agamba nti mmwe abaasigazayo abantu bammwe ebyemmwe byaggwa dda, ssente zammwe baazireeta dda. Ninebuuza oba zaabulirawa.
And one of the other components is that the residents suggested that there should be a monument here to remember the lives of the over 35 people that died during this incident. But they are all in hope that the government will implement that request, so that at least it can't be something that reminds them of their families.
Sawe abeera nagamba taata sina mama wange aliwa nga buli obuto obwo babeerawo nga bazannya. Nagamba mama wange aliwa. In fact ampita taata, ampita ani kuba ebiseera byonna abimaze nange. Kibuuzo kyannema okuddamu, naye nalina essuubi gavumenti ne bwe tatuwa ssente zino zegamba okutuwa, naye netteekera ekijjukizo kati ng'omwana ng'oyo bw'aba akuze n'omugamba munnaaye embeera yali bweti wano nga kikakasibwa ne gavumenti yaffe nga yakiteekamu omukono n'omulaga nti baateekawo n'ekijjukizo kikino, naye tojja kujja buzi oyimirire mu kifo bajja nakuzimbawo amayumba, bajja nakukola ki, bagenda kuteekawo bye baagala. Omwana omunyonyola otya?
Ate enteekateeka gavumenti egirina kuddamu kuzikula bantu abo. Mpozi n'ekirala kye tusaba ekijjukizo tujja kiremerako nnyo. Tusaba gavumenti tuterewo ekijjukizo ky'abantu baffe kubanga batuluma ku mutima. Etebeeza omuntu gw'obadde naye ekiro ogenda kuwala ku makya nga afudde. Tafudde omu, bafudde bangi. Tusaba ekijjukizo ekyo n'okwongera okutuyamba okusabira abantu baffe buli mwaka. Wakati okusabako omwaka guno tekugenda bulungi nti kubanga tetulina buyambi, tulina nteekateeka mu gavumenti wadde State Council.
Under the stewardship of the Office of the Prime Minister, KCCA has since led a multi-agency response to compensate and rehabilitate the affected persons. As we talk now, 18 properties of households affected during emergency evacuation have been compensated. 34 households that were submerged have had an approved valuation of 2.14 billion, which was given to KCCA on 22nd April 2025.
Of which abantu twakola verification nga abantu 48 be babutikwa kasasiro basasulako obusente obateeka ku account bw'abantu 3 olino mu bukadde 15 bukadde 5 simanya 2 okitegeera 34 ne they were 48. 24 be bali baminyibwa excavator baba wayo obusente basasulako obusente bw'abantu 18 only abasigadde tebabawa.
Kwadde bino ebisasiro bino wansi buwanga bukyaliyo tebusobola kubanga bwaggwawo, naye baatugamba amphibian, tulinza amphibian paka n'essaaka kati tulabanga ka amphibian.
Prime Minister yajja wano naye era nga bw'olabye kati nti n'olwaleero azzeeko eno ekiteezi tabadde n'abantu be nawali bwe yajja n'atuuka na wano ne batugaana n'omusemberera kumutubuulira ki ekigenda mu maaso okuggyako ebintu bye twawulira kuba ffe twenyyamirwa bwennyamizi naddaffe abaali bafiiriddwa ebintu byaffe batugobye ewaffe abantu baffe bafudde amayumba gafudde nga n'emirambo abaana bange ffe bazzukulu bange bakyali mu ttaka mu tebannavaamu bwe bajja batugamba bano bakyesenza.
They sent government valuers in your area. Did you receive them?
Yes, they came and introduced themselves to me, but I was busy and I told my secretary to go and carry on the work on my behalf, what she did. But they compensated those people who had the water affected their houses, but not those who their houses were demolished completely.
Eno TV ya Uganda UBC President Museveni agenda giraba, Oweekitiibwa Muhoozi naye agenda giraba, ne mukulu Balamu minisita waffe naye agenda kugiraba, kuba kati nze essuubi lyange liri mummwe. Bano bakoze ebyabwe kati mmwe musigaza, naye bano be mwatuwa nze tebalina kye bannyambye.
So Kitezi bwatyo mulaba. And some days back I was in Buyala. I saw something similar to that.
I was there yesterday and I was not impressed with the way how they are doing it. It is in the same manner as they were doing in Kitezi, and whereby there is no any protection. It will just happen as it happened here, because they are just dumping it and they are not doing anything.
According to the residents residing in the area, the landfill has created employment opportunities for many of them who are able to earn a living. However, they do argue that the Kampala Capital City Authority has taken quite long without ensuring that the modern facility is realized as promised by the government of Uganda after the incident that befell the people in Kitezi.
The reason Kitezi was like a mountain is because the old model was that it was just a collection point. Now that is not the same model in Buyala.
It's coming to 2.5 years, 3 years. We don't see any outcomes. Was it a lie? Was it a continuous promise? To the people in the KCCA office, please, you better wake up, come and fulfill what you promised.
These people, we are even willing to acquire more space around for those who feel like they might be affected. But this is going to be a different dumping site. It's not even a dumping site. This one is no longer a dumping site. This one is going to be like a factory. Trash goes like raw materials. And soon, trash will become probably something people want to sell.
In case of any development of that landfill, would you welcome any such development?
Yes, I would. Simply because it is now just dormant. It is not productive. But if at all they bring something which can bring something whereby even our people can at least benefit, it could be better. And I appreciate it.
Wansi kyatambulanga kiti wansi naye nga waggulu
wansi ndowooza kyaseerera
kubanga waggulu kyasigala nga bwe kiri.
Enkulaakulana gye tusinga okwagala, era singa gavumenti etulowoozaako netwetera enkulaakulana, naffe gye tuganyulwamu ng'abaakosebwa ng'abatuuze b'ekitundu kino tujjaniriza nnyo, kubanga erina okuwa abantu baffe emirimu n'okukulaakulanya ekitundu kyaffe. Kuba ekitundu kyaffe kyo mu butuufu kati n'ow'omukyala akusinga, naye baleeta enkulaakulana ennungi kubanga ffe twali twasanyukira nnyo ekisaawe nga tumanyi nti ekisaawe tujja kufunamu, naye byonna byavaawo. Twaniriza nnyo enkulaakulana, tetusobola gisimbira kuuli kaseeba nga tetukose ng'ate tujja kufunamu.
I'm welcoming the development, but let them not tackle part of our land that is not compensated. Let them work upon their acres of land where they cross. Let them leave our land. Let them remove their garbage. After, they will use this when they fully compensate. Because we are not agreeing at any time with what KCCA did and Office of the Prime Minister. I'm totally disagreeing.
Nagivamu
lwaki wagivaamu wali otya mbeera ya kisasiro kino?
Kasasiro bwajja n'atugwira olwo baatusitula ne batugamba ffenna tuveemu wano wali irisiki obulamu buli mu matigga ne batugamba tulina mu danger zone ne tusituka ne batuvaamu era baatugjamu wano nga n'abamu bayisiddwamu ku kumbo abaali bagaanyi nesitula abantu bange ne tugenda abaana ne bagenda mu kampu kakati okuva okwo situddangamu kukola ki kubeere kudda wano
kati ekirala bajje batusindike valuwa bwebanga beetagisa nga ekifo bakyetaaga batubalirire batusasule tukole ki tuveewo gavumenti esobola okulaakulanya ki ekitundu lwensonga tetujja kugamba nti kifo tukyagala ate nga ne gavumenti egenda tukulaakulanyiza ekikola ki lwensonga maaso n'abaana betulina osanga bwe bagenda okukola ki okufuna emirimu batukulaakulanyiza ekitundu naye batusindikire bali lwensonga nti tuli bubi lwensonga ze neneiba wange anziridde ye yagenda kusaba amasanyalaze naye bamugamba nti ekitundu tetujja kuwa amasanyalaze lwansonga ki awo bagenda menyawo era teyagafuna.
By the way, we've also been with the Deputy Director Public Health, Kampala Capital City Authority, Mr. James Bond.
I think it is definitely not appropriate for the public to be as near as any dump site. But unfortunately, as you said, when we went there in 1996, it was a remote area. And it is the public who are coming nearer to it for proximity because of their livelihood connectivity to the dump site.
Ebintu ebyange kasasiro ya trespassinga. Kasasiro ya tetwesenza kutaka lya kasasiro. Kasasiro yava gyavudde n'atulumba ewaffe ogwo musango gwe gusooka n'atuttira abantu baffe. Kati nze kyensaba president ekintu kimu kundiyirira mu butuufu.
Nsaba batuyambe ffe danger zone kubanga tetukyalina kyetukola ki kyetuyikola newe njogera bwe mbanga mbadde sikuseka mpula nga nenyika ekola ki ngenkwata.
Pezi and the buffer zone, yes, the buffer zone was mapped, and the reason why it was done was to look at every household that was at danger. But that was if we continued using the landfill. Fortunately, later on a decision was taken that they find another place somewhere with more land and close off this one. That landfill is no longer in use.
Yeah, you know that incident, basically it took the heads. That is the unfortunate part of it. Because I think it was basically a management and planning issue.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Pearl of Africa, welcome everyone.